Shalom, brothers and sisters. Today, like I said, I feel like I want to give a testimony of my life a little bit. I think it's time for that. We all got a testimony, and my testimony is how I came into the truth. First of all, I want to say, growing up, I always believed in what we call God at the time. I believed in Jesus at the time. I was taught that way as a child through my parents, and I prayed all the time, but I did my thing, of course. Of course, I've sinned. We all have sinned. I did all the, clubbing and everything like that. But I'm just gonna go into the life of when I came into to Christ, and then now where I am now, and I want to start like when in 2001. Like I said, I was going to church, and then I had got out of church. I used to sing in the choir and everything, and then I had left the church, because I started doing things, clubbing and everything like that, and I kind of felt bad that I was doing certain things. Go to a club and have the little marker stamped on my hand, and then getting out the club, sleeping about 2 hours, just going straight into church. Still had the thing of the stamp on my hand, singing in the choir and everything, praising God, and but I started feeling bad about it. My conscience started coming, working on me. The Most High, like, this ain't right. But instead of stopping all that, I just left the church. Period. I felt bad about it. Well, anyway, to fast forward everything, I stopped going to church for about a year and everything. And then, like I said, I had at the time, my life was going real good. I just got me a home and everything, and so when I went to bed one day. It was a Saturday night, and when I went to bed, everything was going good in my life, so I wasn't going through nothing. I don't look at scary movies or nothing like that. I don't care about scary movies. It ain't nothing to me. And well, when I went to sleep, I had a dream that came to me. But first of all, before that happened, I had like 2 dreams before I had that third dream. And the first dream, when I was dreaming, I dreamed I was walking down a highway, and when I was walking down the highway, all of a sudden, something distracted me that came out the sky, and it was a light. And when I seen the light, it shocked me because how beautiful it was. It was so beautiful, I was just amazed, and I was in awe of how beautiful it was, and I was just looking at it, and I was just like, man, this is the prettiest thing I ever saw in my life. And in the middle, I seen like a church or something, a white building or something like that when I seen it. And I was in awe. And when I went, and then I woke up. And when I woke up, I was in awe about what I just saw. And I tried to go back to sleep and finish it off. That's how beautiful, how pretty it was, And, I got up, I went and told my mom. I was like, did you know, I saw this dream, and I saw this. And, she was like, well, God could be, talking to you, I was like, man, that was cool, man, that dream. But it didn't. I just went on about my life, did my thing, and then later on, I went to bed. Like, this been some months later. I went to bed, and then it was a white building beside me, and it was green grass. I remember it like it was yesterday. And then all of a sudden, I seen that same light again, just came at me. And when I saw it, it was so beautiful. And then out of the light on the side through that wall, Christ came through there. And when I saw him, the most amazing thing was that I saw him, and I knew who he was instantly, and I never saw him before in my life. It was like I knew him. It was like he was my brother. It was like he was my daddy. I knew exactly who he was. And I was calling his name. And at the time, all I knew was Jesus. I didn't know his name was Yeshua. But I was like, Jesus, and I was calling him, and he was walking around me, and then he walked right here beside me. And then for some reason, I couldn't look directly at him. But at the time, if somebody wanted to know what he looked like and stuff, I didn't even care. I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't care what he looked like, because I was just so excited to see him. And when I woke up, I didn't want to tell nobody about that dream because they thought I was crazy. And then so I didn't tell nobody about that dream. But then the next dream, this was in 2001. It was before the 9/11 thing happened. I was asleep, and all of a sudden I was in this room. I thought it was my room, and then I seen a child or a girl run by. I didn't know who it was. They was on fire. And so I ran in there to help them. I ran into the other room, and then when I ran into the other room, the room changed, and it was hell. And the things I saw on there, it was terrible. It was the worst thing I ever saw in my life. I seen the brimstone, I saw the lava, I saw the fire, And then I heard and felt the word death. I heard it. It was on me. It was like death, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I thought it was over. And I thought my life was over. I don't know where I was and everything, but when I woke up and I looked around, I realized I'm back. And then I started dwelling on that dream, and then I started crying, and I was like, man, I'm not finna go to hell. I'm not finna burn. I like, Satan, you a liar. You know, so like I said, so I said I'm fixing to go to church. So I went, you know, like I say, I got ready and went to church. And the church was about over with. You know, that's how long the sleep was, and it was that, you know, church was about over with. But before I went, I heard the Most High say you don't have to go to church to get saved. So I gave my life to Christ right there in the hallway. You know, I was like, Father, forgive me for my sins, you know, in the name of Christ. And during that time, I went to church. You know, I knew I had already gave my life to Christ. So when I did that, I was confident to know that, you know, I was in the Most High, I was in Christ. And I was saved at the time, what we call saved. And but you know, like I say, fast forward, you know, I started doing a gospel rap group, and I was rapping and everything. Everything was going good. Then I went through a bad divorce and everything. But I still held on to the Most High. And but you know, what the most amazing thing was in 2005. This cat, you know, when I was rapping and stuff, he came and asked me. He said, "You saved, man?" I said, "Yeah, man." He said, "You a Christian?" I said, "Yeah, man." And then he was like, he said, "I got a question to ask you." And then he asked me a question. And then when I said, "Well, I think," every time I said "I think," he stopped me. He said, "I don't want to know what you think." He said, "I want to know what the Bible say." And I couldn't say nothing. And then every time I tried to talk, he said, I don't want to know what you think. I want to know what the Bible say." And I couldn't say nothing. And I felt belittled. You know, I felt small. And then I said, man, and then a righteous anger came up in me. And it was so strong. And I said, I'll never let this happen again. And I was so, you know, pumped up. And I said, man, I'm finna read and study. So that's when I started reading the Bible. So actually, you know, I came into Christ in 2001. And then I started actually reading the Bible in 2005. And I started studying. Every book I could find, I started studying more and more and more. I wanted to know more as much as I can. So this dude, I won't never have nobody come and hit me up with the scriptures no more. And I don't know. And I can't go to the Bible. And so as I started studying and everything like that, I was learning the traditional thing. I learned about all the Christian stuff and everything like that. But then I started reading the scriptures, and then it just started hitting me. And this was in 2007. I started saying, man, this sounds like us. I said, why does it sound so much like us? And then I kept studying. And I was like, why did this keep sounding like us? And then I heard the voice of the Most High, the Holy Spirit. She say, what if we was a Jew? What if you was the people? What if y'all was the people? And I started saying, yeah, what if I was the people? You know, they don't know. I could be a Jew. I could be they don't know. I could be the people. And so I kind of carried myself a little different. I was like, man, you know, we can be the people. Nobody don't even know it. And so I kept studying, and it's like, the more I keep studying, the more it kept sounding like we are the children of Israel. I'm like, why does it sound like black folks or the African Americans are the children of Israel? And so I started Googling, you know, started looking up information. Is there such thing as black Jews or something like that? And all of a sudden, you know, I got a video that talked about, you know, the Israelites. And when I saw that, you know, it wasn't like it showed me we was the people. It just gave me a confirmation of who we really were. And I was like, we are the people. I said, man, we are the people. And then, you know, I tried to bring this to my church. You know, my pastor rejected. He said it was Islam. So I put that down. I said, man, Islam. And so I sat back and chilled for a minute, kept going to church. And then and I kept studying. I was like, this can't be Islam. This ain't Islam. And then I said, man, this is against Islam. This is the Bible. I'm coming from the Bible, straight from the Bible. So, you know, I was like, man, bump that, man. I said, we the people. You know, we are the people. And then so I kept studying. And as I kept studying, I kept growing. And then I started learning, okay, you know, there was no J's in the alphabet, so his name wasn't Jesus. You know, I'm like, man, what's up with this? There ain't no J. The J was the last letter in the alphabet. And I'm like, okay. And so as I'm studying, and then, you know, I come up on different names. I come up on Yeshua. I come up on Yehoshua. You know, Yahushua. I come up on them names. I study. And then I came on the name Yeshua. And I said, man, you know, and I learned that was Savior, you know. And that's the name I go with that when I talk about Christ is Yeshua. And then, you know, the God, the Most High, at the time, I was calling him Yahweh or Jehovah. And then I started learning, no, that ain't his name. His name is Ahiah.